PlayStation predictions. So these are my PlayStation predictions. Top of the list, the new God of War Ragnarok. I think we're going to get a cinematic trailer for that. I don't think
only no gameplay.
No gameplay. Okay. Just cinematic. Horizon Forbidden West. I think we're going to have a gameplay trailer because we've already had like a release teaser trailer. So I think we're going to have some gameplay. I predict there will be, newsflash, a new unknown IP that I haven't seen yet that I'll be excited for. That's a bit it's a bit vague. It's a bit vague.
No, but I think that's a given. Considering it's Sony, like they'll definitely they'll probably more than one. I think they'll have like 3 at least.
But I think there'll be one that I will be like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Sort of thing. So yeah, that will be the birth of a new massive, triple 3 or 4 games down the road, and we'll be talking about it in 20 years' time, sort of thing.
That's a good thing to hope for.
I don't think there's going to be any Spider-Man announcement, just because it's been too soon since the Miles Morales. Although they're probably working on a new Spider-Man, but I just don't think it's going to appear for at least a couple of years.
I agree.
I think that Sony are going to show their VR2, their new headset that they'll be working on, because they've already been shown some of the haptic feedback controllers, so that's already been shown, and I think we're going to see some Astro's Playroom VR equivalent gameplay. So I think we're going to see something with Astro doing VR with the new VR2, which hasn't been announced yet. So I think that's going to be a new thing. It'll be a bit of a surprise to some people.
Yeah.
What do you think of those, Vin?
It's a good list, to be fair. It's a good chance that all of that will be there. I think the VR2 thing was something I actually totally forgot about. So I think that would be an interesting proposition. See, I'm not sure if they actually will show it at E3, because they normally show that stuff at like CES or whatever, right? Like they normally like at the German convention show.
Well, like they're not officially at E3. They're going to be doing their own press conference.
It's a good point. It's new ground
around the same sort of time, because they haven't announced that they'll be at E3. So this is like E3/Sony at the same sort of time, jumping on their own bandwagon announcement.
That is fair. I mean, all right, well, what would you think about if, PSVR 2 is announced? Because they've already announced the controllers. They've already shown them. They've said that they're working on the new headset, but they haven't shown it yet. So if they came out with a new headset, it's like, here it is. This is what it looks like. This is how much it's going to be. It comes with Half-Life Alyx included. That would be a sell.
Yeah.
And I think Valve would be on board with that as well, because that's a lot of money.
If they had something, if it was 120 hertz as well, just out of the box.
It has to compete with Oculus Quest 2, at least. It just has to. It would be interesting to see if they can make it wireless. That would be the next big step. And it'd be really interesting what the screen sizes are as well, if that beats Oculus Quest 2. Yeah, lots of competition. So it's that'd be an interesting one. But I think like the biggest game, which I'm looking forward to, like if I had to choose a baby between the two that you mentioned, which is Horizon and God of War, it would probably have to be Horizon, I guess. Like if you were to really hold a gun to my head about it, then it would probably be Forbidden West. And I think you're right. I think it's going to get a huge gameplay reveal. I think it's gonna be a big talk of the show this year. I think there's going to be some of the biggest buzz. I think if there was a poll, I think that it would be a close tie between the two. And I think that, the most hyped will be Horizon Forbidden West for sure. Yeah. I mean, when do you think that game is coming out? I don't think it's going to be this year. I think it might be next year. Well, what do you think they're going to have for their big sort of holiday push this year? Like, is there anything else that they would have? That's a good point. Because if they haven't got anything this year, then I would say that it has to be Horizon Forbidden West. It just has to be, because there's nothing else really, I don't think. There might be, because they've got Ratchet and Clank coming out next month. And there's really nothing else until... Maybe we're just completely blank and there's actually a really huge game that we've just totally forgotten about. That we've just forgotten about, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Forbidden West is it. I think that's the one that they really want to push. About it, yeah, of all the big IPs, it's got to be one of those two, isn't it? That's a good point. It's a good Christmas push. I mean, I would I would say that it's out this year. I would say that's like a November game. November 3rd. There you go. That's my day.
Okay, November 3rd.
Right. November 3rd.
We got that on digital film, so yeah, we can come back to that.
Digital film. No, I like that. It's good. I mean, not bad predictions. I think they're pretty safe bets.
Yeah. I'm not very creative when it comes to what other people are going to be doing.
No, that works.
So what is your list like?
Might be a bit more ambitious, but I always do go ambitious on purpose because I know it's going to be nothing like this, and everyone's going to get excited about absolutely nothing. Then we get an average convention,
an average show, yeah,
right, and then everyone's upset and annoyed by me. So that's how it goes. So my first big prediction. My first big prediction is PlayStation Now is rebranded to something like Play Pass or something along them lines.
Right.
And then that becomes the new Game Pass for PlayStation. I think that's the big push. But the interesting thing about this is not the fact that it's going to be like Game Pass just on the console side. It's going to be the same for the PC side as well. So their initiative where they're pushing a lot of Steam games at the moment, it's going to be included within this sort of thing, so they'll be able to cross between PC space and console space as well. So they're going to be trying to tap into the Microsoft market of cross platforms.
That is a hell of a prediction, Vin.
It's a big one, but it's kind of like they kind of have to at this point. You know, it's not really a thing that they need to do because it would be nice. It's more of a necessity because Game Pass is coming for them, and I think they can feel Microsoft like breathing down the back of their neck at this point. So it'll be silly if they didn't do something like this. But I mean, that included with the difference is that the advantage which PlayStation has over Xbox right now, if they did come out with their own Game Pass or Play Pass or whatever you want to call it, is that they already have a streaming network already set up with PlayStation Now. So all of that's already set up. Has some downloads already. So they've already got that system set up. It just needs a decent rebrand and some deals cut basically, and that'll be about it. But I think that'll be.
And do you think that'll be this year?
Yes, it has to be. I think before this holiday. But they also have the PlayStation VR stuff, so they bundle that in with their new Play Pass, whatever you want to call it. It's a big initiative.
That's big because that would open up a lot of games to PlayStation consumers. Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, I shouldn't have dragged that out so much. But anyway, the next thing was 60 FPS upgrades for all of their first-party titles. That'll get announced for E3. That includes The Last Guardian, all of Bloodborne, all the ones that they haven't touched yet because they need to compete with Frame Boost. The next big thing from PlayStation as well after that would be the answer to Frame Boost, which is Res Boost. It's going to be PlayStation's next thing. So they're going to DLSS like all of their games up to 4K, like all of their PS4 games. All of them. All their first-party titles. I know. I'm going crazy. This is crazy. This is the wild stuff. Forbidden West will be their big holiday game with a huge blowout, like you just said. I think this is going to be like the end of the year. I think this is going to be that big Christmas push. Like buy a PS5 and you get Forbidden West with it as a bundle. Buy it now, sort of thing. You can play Forbidden West and Ratchet and Clank and have an awesome time for your new PS5. That'd be great. Next thing, God of War gameplay. I think they're going to show gameplay. I don't think it's just going to be CG. I think it would be a huge disappointment because we only got like a CG little logo teaser, and people want to see Kratos like screwing up some stuff. So yeah, I totally want to see him throwing axes around.
Is the boy going to be playable? Do you think?
Yes, I think. Like even bigger prediction: Kratos will die by the end of this game.
Yeah. I can see that happening. Yep.
And then the boy takes over and he's like the playable character in the third game. Or maybe he dies halfway through and
everyone will be like, this is just like The Last of Us.
Right. It depends how they do it. But
he'll get ill in a shed and then the boy will have to go off and get some medicine and come back.
That'd be really sad.
The Last of Us 1.
That would be really, really depressing. Big game announcement from the PlayStation camp. Persona 6 gets announced. At E3.
Persona 6. I'm not familiar with Persona.
Persona is a huge. It's probably one of the biggest JRPGs right now, I would say. So, like, if you don't know, then you don't know, sort of thing. But if you're in the Persona camp, then this would be a huge deal. as big as like a Final Fantasy 16 announcement, which they had last time. Speaking of which, I think they will show some more game. I think they'll show some gameplay of Final Fantasy 16, but also they will announce Final Fantasy 7 2. Still years away, but I think the sequel to the Final Fantasy 7 remake is on the way, and I think that's going to be in the show as well. They're my PlayStation.
I forgot about Final Fantasy. Yes, I think that the PlayStation. I think that they're going to come up with some sort of answer to Xbox's Game Pass.
Yeah.
For what you've said, though, I'll be very surprised if all that happens.
Ambitious.
It's a bit ambitious. I'll be very happy because it means great stuff for the consumers. I just can't see PlayStation wanting to do that, spending that much money on making things that people have already paid for better.
Yeah, I think because they've got a lot of these systems in place already. It's just about bringing them together and housing them in a new branding. So like the PC initiative, which they're pushing with Days Gone, Horizon's on the PC now, Death Stranding as well. So they've got all these games, they've got all these IP coming. They've probably got a lot more in the pipe. The fact that they're already doing this and they need to answer to Game Pass in some way. Like, hey, if you sign up to Game Pass, like link your Steam account, you get access to all these games as well. It wouldn't be that difficult technically. It's just a matter of, crossing that path and actually doing it, because it gives incentive to PC gamers to like want to buy a PlayStation as well, which is a good thing. So it works both ways, but we'll see, man. Like I hope we get an answer to Game Pass if that's through the
exciting.
means.
It's exciting. It's very exciting to hear. Like, it's exciting when I was saying my predictions, but it's really exciting listening to yours and then just going, but what if? But what if that does happen? I like this. This is fun.
Yeah.